Hello everyone, today I'm gonna go over how to start your first lab and first task. So I'm just gonna demo you how to do that. So open your VM, open your browser from your VM. So as soon as you open, you'll be taken to this page, say securityLabs.org. So here you can go over Seed Labs, go to Seed Labs and select Seed Labs 2.0 and network security. We are gonna do Sniffing and the spoofing lab for our first lab. So what you have to do is, so right click on this and open this link in, sorry, not that link. Oh yeah, right here. So go to tasks and sniffing and spoofing. Go over task and to English. Click this link, it'll open a PDF. So then what you have to do is the lab setup files. Download the zip. So it'll ask you to save the file and just set OK, and you'll be able to see it downloading here. It's completed. So every downloaded file will be in our download. So what I recommend is for every lab you create a new folder, and so that you have clarity of which lab you're running. And usually, because all of these labs are in Dockers, if you have multiple Dockers running, multiple Docker shells running, it'll clash and you'll have errors. So just cut this, go over to your documents, create a folder, and in that folder you can name it as Sniffing Lab. Just create a Sniffing Lab, enter, and paste it here. And after you paste it, just extract it here as well. Okay, so that's the first step. Once you're done with that, you can briefly read over all of this, what's required and what's this environment setup using the containers. So what are containers is, so this is the network and we're gonna have three containers on this network, which is the attacker, host A, host B. So that's our setup. So for that, and all of these computers are as Docker. So we need to use Docker commands to start up our systems. So yeah, there's about the attacker container as well. Feel free to read everything once, you'll have better understanding. I'm going to show you what you have to do. But yeah, so our lab task set 1 is using Scapy to sniff and spoof packets. So we'll have to import Scapy and we'll have to run the small code called IP and show. So this is gonna show us our IP address. So the IP address is gonna be shown. That is the task. So now let's get started. I'll tell you what all these Docker commands are. So Docker, these are the main Docker commands you'll be using. DC build, DC up, DC down. So as soon as you unzip your folders, you have to remember that you can only run Docker commands in this location. So wherever the location of the YML file is, you'll be able to run Docker commands only in that location. So just hit open in terminal, then you'll be in the lab setup folder. And just verify it as well. So there's a Docker component in volumes. So what you have to do is for the very first time, you should always execute DC build. So for me, since I've already executed few labs and done, this is not my first lab, it skips the build process. But for you, it's gonna take some time. So that's the first step. After the first step, you can use DC up. So what DC up is, it starts all the containers on the host. So just once, always verify if everything is done, is in done state, or there are some errors. So now everything is done, so we are good. The next command is docps. So what docps does is it shows all the running containers and their IDs. So we need these IDs in order to start a shell in yeah, to start these containers basically. So those are the Docker commands, and DC down is for when you're closing everything. So I've showed you docps. I'm going to show you docsh as well. So this is docps. So this is the seed attacker, right? So we have to start our shell in the attacker. So docsh, and what's the first? We can enter the first two numbers from the ID to start the shell. So that's 96, right? Okay, so it says that multiple IDs found with the provided prefix. So because I've been running a lot of Dockers, maybe that's why. So what I'll do is I'll just give a little more. So 96 9E. I'll give 9E as well. Yep. So that started, and we can see that we're in the root VM. For you, you don't have to worry. The first two numbers will start that thing. So this we now started it in the root. So that is the attacker. In order to start in the host, we do the same. So 65. So we go over here, doc sh 65. We are in 65. That was all about this. So yeah, this is the information about the attacker container. You can go over it. But what I'll tell you is, so when we go to our sniffing lab in volumes, this volumes folder is the shared folder between our Docker container, I mean our root container, and our VM. That means whatever files you have over here, where you'll be able to access them from your root attacker. So you when you hit ls, you'll be able to see something called volumes. So cd volumes. Oh, sorry, cd volume. Right now it's blank, but yeah, when you create files over here, you will be able to see those files to root VM. That's what I was trying to say. I'll demo it to you, and you'll be clear in a while. So this is another important command called fconfig. So when you like as you soon as you check for your docps, I recommend in here opening ifconfig as well. So what ifconfig is it gives you the interface number. So as you, it'll be written here, see the interface number is the concatenation of PR and the ID of the network. So these both are your interface numbers. As you proceed with other tasks, you'll be using interface number. So for our first task, we have to execute this code. So I'll demo that. So as I said, we have to go into volumes, and let's create a Python code. So what we can do, we can create a folder called file called task, not files, not folder, sorry, file. So you can create a file called task1 and hit enter. Soon as you create that, you'll be able to see the task1.py in volumes. So just open that. So the first task, it is quite simple, right? We just have to execute these commands. Yeah, be careful when you're copying. See, it gives you errors. So what I just copied so that you'll know that it creates errors. So it's better to just type everything out. I'll type everything out. Yeah, so I typed everything out and just hit Control Save. So once you save that, you'll be able to see in this that it got changed to a Python file. And since volume is a shared folder, as I was talking about, so now we are in our root VM, which is our attacker container, which is sure, yeah. So this is our attacker container, seed attacker. So that's it. So here, when you hit ls, there you go. You'll be able to see task one py. So now you must have understood how is the shared folder looking. So here, once you do this, once you have your task one ready and showing, you can use these commands to execute it. So I can just go like task1.py. So permission denied. Okay, so you hit that. I think because we didn't make our code executable. So a plus x task1.py. Now let's try it. There we go. So remember to use this command to make your Python code executable. A plus X makes it executable, and once it's executable, you can just give it the name, and there you go. It is showing the IP details of our system. So that's it, guys. Thank you.